Hi everyone. So if you're new to my channel, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. I have my crystal ball out, so I will be scrying throughout this message. I already know that this message is going to be seen by a lot of people who are not familiar with my channel. As I'm sitting in this space and I've already tapped in, I am getting a different current coming in, mingling with the current I usually read for. So I'm setting the intention that if this video finds you and you're not familiar with my channel, that it's finding you exactly when you need to find it. I'm setting that intention very firm because there's things inside of this message that I feel that if some people aren't ready for, but they resonate with the message, they might take this as theirs. So let's go ahead and we're going to begin. One of the first things that I'm feeling inside of this message, I'm feeling that this collective I'm speaking to, we do have this element of wanting to uplift humanity or uplift the spiritual energies of Earth in some way. So for example, one way that it could possibly not be humanity is, for example, if you're a medium and you are really trying to help spirits, right? Spirits that have transitions, that have certain things that they would like to convey to loved ones. If you're somebody that works in underworld energies, for example, you may be trying to heal underworld energies. This is an alchemist sort of collective that I'm reading for. Whether you resonate with that or not, you might resonate more with light worker. This is an energy of transmutation that I'm picking up on. So whoever I'm reading for, you have a very specific energy, and this is an energy that's very beautiful. This because of the beauty that your soul has, right? Because of the purity of your intentions and the beauty that your soul has. This has not been an easy life. This is a life that a lot of people have misunderstood you. And you may have struggled in certain areas inside of your life, for example, your personal partnerships, your friendships, maybe even your career, establishing security for yourself here. And because of that difficulty in establishing security here, you may have gone through a lot of your life feeling like you're in the wrong place, wrong time, wrong country, wrong world, right? Okay. Now, I just had an energy pull on, I call it the soul star. That was the old term for it. And this energy that I'm feeling pull is kind of pulling me back into the past, and it's almost highlighting a structure of instability from the very beginning. And so from a very young age, I feel that whoever this collective is, you've had to be responsible for a lot of things. And it's almost as though, like, when a child feels that it has to raise its parents or it has to raise itself, it's that kind of energy. Now, because of this has caused you to embody the qualities that most people consider, like, old soul. They'll say old soul. And so you've always kind of sat back and watched other people and maybe felt like you didn't understand. You didn't understand where other people were coming from. And I want to say this for somebody because I'm being very specifically guided to say it, which means somebody really needs to remember this. Maybe they're down right now. Maybe they're having a really hard time right now. It's a very special thing to be able to go through the things in life that I feel that this collective has gone through and still maintain a sense of hope and goodwill towards humanity. So whoever this message is for, if you find yourself in a really hard time, in a really difficult space right now, especially with other people, just remember that this is a very beautiful energy that you're bringing. And this is an energy of transmutation into the world. And it's very rare for people to still want to carry this positive vibration for humanity, even after so much has happened to them. So here we have the Queen of Wands. This is about our focus. I do feel that right now, whatever's happening inside of your life, it's almost creating the stronger focus in your own path. Some of you may be feeling a little confused as to where that path is leading you or where it's supposed to go. Remember that sometimes the reason why we stay confused about those things is because our current steps and whatever steps we choose to take are actually the steps that carve the path. There's this energy that's coming in with this Queen of Wands, that somebody here is starting to understand that their feelings really affect things for them. And so this is a very powerful place to come when we understand that our willpower, our intention, and our feelings can definitely carve out a little bit of our environment, right? I don't want to get into that too heavy. I don't feel that that's the point of this reading. But someone here is coming into that understanding of their own personal vibration, and that there may be a need at this time to lower themselves out of more negative vibratory feeling states. This is a very powerful time for whoever this collective is. And the reason why is because there seems to be a lot of realizations, a lot of information that we're coming into that we've never come into before, a lot of personal transformations. I do feel that here in this collective there are a number of people who have experienced energy in a new way. It's almost as though our senses, or our understanding of what our senses always were, is opening up a little bit, so that it's allowing us to experience just a little bit more, because now we understand, right? These may be areas where we didn't understand that we were actually picking up on things, and so we may have closed it down like, oh, that's just this, or that's just normal, and now you're realizing that no, this was part of my spiritual abilities, my spiritual gifts. Okay. I do want to say there's an essence of coming back to the basics inside of this reading, of like remembering certain things, of remembering who we are. Somebody here might need to be reminded that, your intense propensity towards love. I don't know why it came out that way. Your intense propensity towards love is your spiritual gift. So let's see what else is coming up. We have the Tower. There may have been a lot of endings recently inside of your life, or this may be a phase that you're moving out of, where there's a lot of endings that take place. These things had to be taken down in order to reveal the truth, in order to reveal the actual frame of who you are. And so someone here has done a lot of self-healing, or is about to step onto the path of doing a lot of self-work. Whenever I get the Tower, because the Tower is followed by the Star card, which is liberation, this is almost indicating that someone's in a fine balance here where they get to choose which direction they go next. And because we get to choose which direction we go next, sometimes we're very confused about what it is that we want to do. And that's why this Queen of Wands is so important, because the Queen of Wands suggests that we have to remember to maintain our vibrational integrity. We have to choose the thing that allows us to live in the best version of ourselves. Sometimes we have a choice between returning to something that is old, but we hope that it turns out a different way, and something that's new. And we have to remember to choose the path that we know will actually raise our vibration. There is a story here that I feel that some people inside of this collective keep getting trapped inside of, and this may be a life lesson that we're learning at this time about how to choose the self and the things that are best for the self, rather than having too much worrying too much about others, right? Because I do feel that that story has to do with another. There is an element inside of this collective that we are creating something, whether we realize it or not. We're creating something massive, something big for ourselves. And this creation is directly linked to the spiritual abilities and the spiritual quality that we have. I don't just mean being of a spiritual nature. I mean very specifically that spiritual quality of wanting to change or transmute the energy and the things inside of this world, inside of this particular experience that need transmuted, right? The things that need to heal. As we heal ourselves, we heal our world. As we heal ourselves, we heal our families, we heal our friends, we heal our community. And the reason why is because now you are a point of love and a point of, I think most people would resonate with this, so I'm going to use the term a point of light. Some of you know how I feel about that. But a point of light that is a transmutative force. And other people see that, and other people are like, wow, like I wonder what this person has going on, that they're so brilliant, they're so radiant. And this causes other people to try to better themselves. And when they're ready, right? When they're ready. And we can't control when they're ready. We can only accept when people are ready. And this is what I see happening here between the Queen of Wands and this Tower. There's a lot of beautiful energy taking place here. We usually see in tarot the Tower and we freak out a little bit, like, oh no, what's about to happen? But the Tower is always an amazing force. When you learn to dance with the universe, you understand that the Tower always happens for you. It doesn't look like it. There's a lot of situations where it doesn't look like it and may take years and years to feel like it. But this always brings about something that gets us back to the core of who we are. So someone here, this is the experience you're currently having. A lot of downloads, a lot of information, things possibly getting blown away out of your life, so that you can grieve those things, so that you can shed those emotional layers and get back to that beautiful star that resides inside, which is your liberation. Okay, and then we have the Nine of Wands. Now, this is a very interesting card to follow that, because the Nine of Wands is really about boundaries. It's about lessons that we've learned, and every lesson that we've learned creates a new boundary for us, that we will no longer accept certain things, or that we understand we should no longer engage in certain things. Sometimes these are thoughts, sometimes these are beliefs, sometimes these are people that we let in. Someone here is learning a very important lesson. Again, this is life lesson sort of energy, which also came out in yesterday's reading, I believe. That may have been my member's message, but this is a very important life lesson for somebody about how to get back to the center of who they are, the present moment, center themselves, and have healthy boundaries. When we get into the energy of having healthy boundaries, this thing that we're trying to become, right, that we're trying to engage in, and this is the Murder of Crows Tarot. If anybody is wondering what kind of deck I'm using here, we have this queen that's wearing this crow mask, and she's kind of hiding who she is. She doesn't feel that she has to let everybody know who she is, because she knows who she is. And that really can be the state of true authenticity, right? Sometimes when we have to overshare things and we have those poor boundaries, this can really be a sign of insecurity. Whoever I'm reading for, we're coming into a place where we're cultivating that true authenticity, where we understand that not everybody deserves our truth. Not everybody should be given all of us, right? We're learning how to protect in healthy ways, not unhealthy ways. So for some of us, we may be unlearning how to overprotect. For others of us, we're learning how to protect just enough so that we can really exhibit the best energy and put our best foot forward most of the time, right? When we don't protect enough and we have people taking our energy and stealing our like happiness and our peace, and we're giving those energies away freely, we don't really show up in the best way. We may think that we do, but we don't show up in the most powerful, like radiant sort of way, because now we have all the stress, we have all these things that we're worried about, and we have all this pain inside of our heart that we constantly have to process. Someone here is learning how to have good boundaries. The moment that we establish those good boundaries, we become unstoppable. Right? Now we have all that beautiful psychic energy collected to ourselves that we get to do something with. And this is where the Queen of Wands gets her power. She gets her strength, is that she's very collected to herself. And this doesn't mean closing off to people in any way. She just knows where it's appropriate to invest and where it's inappropriate to invest. And she makes sure that nobody kind of pulls on her heartstrings and pulls her energy, so that she can show up in the most beautiful, dynamic, charismatic, magnetic way and rule the kingdom. So this is somebody who's really stepping into their power. Someone here is starting to empower themselves. You may have been, for example, you might resonate with being an empath or a psychic empath. And you may have always gotten other people's energies, and because you've gotten other people's energies, you've extended too much because you want to help these people that you can feel are hurting. This is where that empath empowers themselves and becomes extremely powerful, because now they're no longer giving things away, and they understand when the appropriate time is and when the appropriate place is. And this is how we affect true change. This is how we truly transmute. So this is a major life lesson that somebody has either just learned or is stepping into, is currently in the process of learning. We have the King of Swords. Ooh, okay. So let's pull a second card. I want to clarify that. How's the King of Swords showing up today? We have the Knight of Wands. Some of you were very used to energies being inside of your life, whether it was, for example, this can manifest all sorts of ways. I think a lot of us are really familiar with it in terms of people, but it can be jobs that kind of screw you around. It can be teachers who promise one thing and then do another thing and then keep promising one thing. This can be lovers, right, who come and they go and you're always waiting around for them. But we have this Knight of Wands. The Knight of Wands, the nature of the Knight of Wands is to move in one direction but always be looking over their back. And sometimes while looking over their back, they decide to go in that direction, and then they always miss what they left behind. So they're always doing this, right? Somebody here, this can reflect, again, something external to us that we've had to get clear about and cut away, which is represented by the King of Swords. And this may be what you're trying to establish boundaries about. For some of you, this is a quality inside of ourselves, our inability to commit, for example. And this may be something that you've had to get clear with and be very firm about cutting away. But whichever it is, this seems to be at the root of someone's life lessons currently. And when we come into the root of this energy, this is where we really get to say, I am no longer engaging in this type of energy, because in order to actually transmute and do the thing that I feel that I'm being pulled to do, I have to be very focused. This is the Queen of Wands. She's extremely focused, and I have to commit to a particular path, and anything else that tries to pull me from that path is not of the vibration that I'm aligning myself to. I just had a mantra come into my head that I used a long time ago, and it helped me really clear up certain emotional boundaries for myself and the types of things that it was allowing to influence me. So I'm going to share that. And I used to have it posted above my desk so that I would look at it every day. And it was that I choose to feel the vibration that I am trying to live. So not only is it about choosing and then stepping into that energy, it's that I'm choosing the things that come with me, and I'm choosing the things that have to go. And sometimes that's very painful for us inside the heart space, especially for this type of collective that I'm reading for. It can be very hurtful inside of your heart space to let go, but allowing yourself to learn to unattach and to not attach to things that are unhealthy for you is immense. It's huge. And this is something that is wrapped up inside of this Nine of Wands energy. So whoever this collective is, either you've learned this lesson in recent years, or this is something that you are currently learning how to do. I just saw this bright flash of light inside of the crystal ball as this fell out. And so this is the King of Pentacles. This is about, I think that the King of Pentacles actually sums it up really well with the Magician on the bottom. So this is how we're going to read this. This is about controlling and creating what it is that you were here to do, right? So one of the things that I say often on my channel is that sometimes we have very specific missions, right? And I don't get that a lot in my personal readings. I really don't. And I know that there's people that disagree with that. That's absolutely fine. But one of the things that I do get all the time is that the soul's mission is always to evolve, right? To come to a state of almost like metanoia, a place where it's receiving the information, and it's part of the flow, and it kind of transmuting and healing itself throughout lifetimes. And this is really what I'm seeing here. I'm seeing that somebody becomes extremely solid inside of themselves here with the King of Pentacles. The King is the most refined of that particular element. It's the most extreme of that element in some ways. So the King of Pentacles is extremely grounded. This is moving from a place where we feel like we don't belong to doing this work and allowing ourselves to heal in such a measure that we know that we belong, because we belong in ourselves, right? Wherever I go, home goes with me. And so this is when somebody really starts to be able to affect a transmutive effect on this earth plane. If we always feel at odds with it, if we always feel like we don't belong, we're not going to affect it as much as we could, right? We are not going to be able to do the thing, the alchemizing that we think that we're supposed to be able to do, because essentially the consciousness of the earth, we're not aligned with it, right? We're at odds with it. And someone here is stepping into a place that, because they've created such solidity and such strength inside of themselves, they're able to align with things because things no longer threaten them. Things no longer are, you're against me or you're my enemy. It's like, I see exactly who you are and I understand your story, and this has nothing to do with me, right? Because someone is that strong. Their value isn't being determined by the things that are taking place outside of them, because they understand their value comes from within. This is when we step into the energy of the Magician, and the Magician is the person that it holds the power to be able to transmute, to be able to cause change, to be able to use their minds effectively and wisely, and be super focused. The Magician knows exactly what he wants to happen. So this is very beautiful energy. I do want to say that I want to follow it up for some of you with this Queen of Cups, and the reason, because it was underneath this, and I'm just taking these two. For some of you, this is going to be inside of your emotional space, finding solidity and being super focused inside of the emotional space. This is particularly true, again, if you are an empath, right? the empath journey is very difficult. There are a lot of things that other people don't experience, they don't understand. And I'm not talking about people that have empathy. That's different than being an empath. This is an energy that, you know, when we are literally taking on other people's energy, it can be very hard to shake. If you're interested, I have 2 videos. They're called Super Empath 1, Super Empath 2. I'll link them in the description box. There's some tips and tricks for empaths. Some about like relieving anxiety that comes from situations, others from releasing the energy that you've caught from other people. They're very simple exercises that I found along the way really helped me. They're exercises I created, and so check them out, see if they work for you if you struggle with this. But this does seem like an empath who is starting to understand appropriate boundaries in their emotions and in their expectations of others and what they allow others to expect from them. And this is putting them more in this magician space where they're able to create a life finally that they want to create. Okay, I'm being told to pull a couple of other cards here. Okay. Okay. So these cards apparently are coming through as advice for somebody. There is the possibility for you to really bridge the gap between yourselves and other people. For those of you who feel very misunderstood and you feel a little bit like you've never belonged here and you're still in that space, this card is coming out because there is a possibility to merge. The important thing with this card, we have the 4 and 7, is that there may be certain conflicts that we have within ourselves, right? Maybe not feeling like we belong here, maybe not feeling super secure, maybe not feeling like people like me. Those are all belief states that we hold. And the thing about this place is that we do exist inside of a divine matrix, right? We're all interconnected. We are all one, especially on a deep unconscious level. We're all resonating. We're all sending information back and forth. When we hold these beliefs, these are beliefs that resonate along that frequency, and they cause other people to behave in certain ways that will always mirror that frequency back to us. A really good exercise to try if you want to see that at work is to go back through your history and think about people that really did something to you. And how did they make you feel? Did they make you feel unloved? Did they make you feel lonely? What's the major energy that they made you feel? If you think about the energy that you were in when you met them, you were probably feeling that way already. Right? We tend to attract people that are going to mirror our feeling states back to us. And that's why when I'm having a really bad day, or if I happen to have something going on, you know, that I'm not necessarily detecting, but I can feel, right? I always sit down and I think, what am I vibrating here? Like, what's going on? Because whether we consciously do it or not, we have those processes take place. They bubble out of the subconscious. This is just normal. All of us go through this. And when we isolate what that is, be very wary of people who enter your life at that time, because chances are this is an individual who's also going to make you feel this way coming up. It's a different form of confirmation bias. It's almost like a magnetizing confirmation bias, where we are bringing something into our life that will reaffirm that belief. So that's a message for somebody here as you go about this journey of having good boundaries. If you're having a really bad day and you feel really lonely and you feel like everybody abandons you, and then you meet somebody, you know, the natural inclination is, oh, I'm lonely, let me grab onto this person. And then you'll find that through time, this person makes you feel abandoned or lonely all the time. So just be aware and like look through your history and see if that has played out for you. I'm not saying that it's that way, that it plays out that way for everyone. I don't like to stick to absolutes here, but you'll probably find that that's the case. Here, what you're being guided to, if you find that you're in one of those feeling states, is to try to lighten things up inside of your life a little bit. We've gotten a little too serious. Someone here has gotten a little too serious about things, and this is bringing the energy of their life down. When we're real serious about things all the time, that is a lower vibration, and the reason why is because it's an earthy vibration, right? Earth is dark and cold and damp, and this is fine when we're trying to be solid and strong inside of ourselves, but it's not a great way to interact with the world around us. It's not a great way to treat ourselves, right? It's a good quality to have, but it may be something that you're being guided to kind of lighten up a little bit and to, you know, sit around and watch some movies that you think are funny. That one makes me cringe inside because for the longest time I just hated comedy, and to this day I hate most comedy. I just think most people's humor is just weird. So maybe you're like that, you know, read something that, you know, is fun. Watch something that you think is fun. Listening to music that you feel upbeat about, right? And that's not to say listen to upbeat music. For example, I listen to some black metal. That just makes me so happy. So listen to something that makes you happy. Bring a little bit of lightness into a little bit of joy. Don't take everything so seriously. And you might find that your energy starts to change. Okay, and then one last message I'm hearing. Okay, beloved, and one of the things that a person is probably experiencing right now as part of this lesson about themselves, about who they are, about their transmutation qualities, about having good boundaries, is that one of the most powerful keys to all of that is this radical acceptance. Right? This is where we stop being hurt by everything and we stop letting people hurt us. This is where we stop, you know, maybe trying to find a problem with everything or trying to control things or trying to tell people how to be and how they should do things. And, you know, this would be better because we allow people to be who they are, to have their own will, to have their own life. And we back up a little bit from always having to be the one who is making themselves safe or making everything what they want it to be, which is a quality that a lot of us embody, but we don't necessarily realize until we get a little bit of insight into that. Someone here is learning radical acceptance, and this is allowing them to love even deeper, to love humanity in a deeper way. And this is that transformative fire that starts to explode once we have that energy, because now, like I said, for some of us, we seem to be viewing everything as a threat. We no longer feel that way. We no longer feel that we have to do that. We're not threatened by the things that are different or that challenge us. So when we get into this too, this is the card of partnership, right? This is a number of partnership. We're partnering here with our experience, and because we're partnering with our experience, we're able to show up in a very focused, very healthy, healed way as an alchemist, as a light worker, whichever label you resonate with, in order to positively affect change here. So whoever this message is for, this is amazing energy, and I love that this is the lesson that's being learned or has just been learned, because you are showing up in this very vibrant sort of way. And I do feel that some of you're teaching others how to lighten up too, and in doing so, that's allowing them to accept both their light and their darkness and to integrate all of their experience into one unified whole, which is when people really start to move in a new way and when people start to experience love in a deeper way. So I'm going to leave this here. If this resonates for you, please hit that like button. Feel free to subscribe. Feel free to check out the classes in the description box. And until next time.